What's going on? We're going to dive deep into this episode with the return of the Mac. You know what it is, who it is, what it isn't. Yep. So Jade's back with some massive news, which you're going to have to listen to the podcast to hear. But first of all, shout out to our major sponsor, alltradescover, alltradescover.com.au. Sorry, I've got hyperbaric chamber issues. If you've got a small business and you want some insurance cover, hit them up and compare the market using alltradescover.com.au.
Are there any specific examples you can give us,
So
Daniel?
many, man. So if you've got a workplace and you need insurance, what you could do is hit up alltradescover.com.au and they'll tell you what they can insure.
They're fucking legends, so just hit them up. And
Yep.
I don't care if you go to Elliot, just get that whole thing and mention the yarns because
Mention the yarns.
Yep, anything to do with they're great.
And tomorrow we're playing golf.
Yes, with Kahuna Golf. We're filming some content with them, doing some more stuff. So if you like to play golf, if you like to feel good and look good while you're playing golf, Kahuna's the ones. We get a couple of jumpers tomorrow, Delby, so that's good.
Yeah, because my shirt is at my friend's. So
yeah, I'm pretty keen to play some golf wearing some nice Kahuna stuff. But we have a code word, HardDowns15 for 15% off.
Yeah.
And
if you want to go see some comedy tonight or every Thursday, Squealing Pig. This is sponsored by Squealing Pig Comedy Nights.
That's a good point. Yeah,
That's right.
It is. Squealing Pig. And I did need to mention that it is the end of financial year stuff for Kahuna. So they're going to be having sales. So
sick.
Look out for some codes for that as well.
And shout out to Riv or Reef. I think you said your name was Riv, but shout out to you. I saw you out and I mentioned you in this episode. So thanks for listening. And any Patreons, if you want a episode without any ads, we've got all the episodes on there, ad free. We've got some bonus episodes in. We've got some behind the scenes for Thursday. So there's going to be another Ghost Story Patreon app going up.
And Usain Bolt, if you are watching our clips and not actually listening to the episodes, we don't want you.
Yeah. So we're here with Jade. Jade, what did we roughly cover? I think we've got a whole note of what we covered.
We spoke about the World Cup.
Reading
of freediving.
The training for freediving.
Yeah.
And the lead up. Solution to my eye issue, the equalisation issue. About imposter syndrome as well.
Yeah.
Competition nerves. Diet alcohol.
Diet alcohol.
And a little bit about the breathwork workshops as well.
And we start with some ghost stories.
Yeah.
Which is becoming
How do
custom.
we keep coming up with more ghost
guys
stories?
Well, I think each guest has got everyone's got a story to tell.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that can be that common theme. Like everyone's got a story.
All starts
to tell.
with, when I was 5.
Fuck yeah. Thank you so much, Jade. Very good episode. Let's get hard.
Let's get
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host,
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Branch.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
I got the clap, yeah. Fuck, you're way crispier than me today.
I'm just brighter and wider.
Reckon?
You're clear.
Fuck.
It's
Because
your
if
eye.
I move...
No, it's your eyes, I reckon.
Is it?
Yeah. Also, you're darker. Like I'm.
Yeah, but I'm dark.
Yeah, but you've got the purple background.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you stand out. You stand out.
I had a green shirt on before. I was like, I'm not wearing a
I
green
look
shirt.
horrific.
I look
today.
so pale, bro.
I looked good on with Wolfie, the secret episode.
Yeah.
Nah, you
So it
look
will never be
good.
released.
Settings.
So what did you have moisturiser that was making you blacker?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Is it tanning toner?
It was, because you know that smell of the like tanning oil and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like coconutty.
Yeah.
And I hate the smell of it, and I've never had to use it. Mm-hmm. Wait, have we started?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I smelt a little bit of it, and I was like, what the hell? That doesn't smell right. And then I'm drying myself, and I've got paler towels, and then this brown stuff comes off, and I was like, I've just had a shower. I should be clean right now.
Maybe you shit yourself.
And then I was like, I had this thought, and I looked at the moisturizer. I've been using it 3 weeks, and then it said, because it said for dark skin.
Oh, I thought you said for ducks. For ducks skin.
Dark skin.
Just for cooking.
That's for me. Yeah. And it said for dark skin. And then I looked and it was like gradual tanning moisturizer. I was like, I do not need this. I'm so dark.
Well, you got your browner.
Yeah.
So
well, I've stopped using it because
That reminds me of Ross when Ross does the tanning bed.
Yeah.
He's like, did you count to 10? Mississippi?
That's good, yeah. That's like my joke.
But we are back
Tanning
with Jade Macdonaldy. I always fuck your last
Macdonald Razvi.
Macdonald Razvi.
Macdonaldy.
Is that, Macraz is joined together, Macdonald Razvi.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I've known you a long time and I didn't realise that.
Scottish and what?
And that part's Indian. Brazilian.
Indian.
No, that part's
Hi, Macdonald Razvi. We got the
exactly like that, yeah. That's how I said
But before we kick off with all your achievements, you said that you got an epic ghost story. And since we're doing our ghost era.
Yep. All right. So I was probably about 4 or 5. That's how all ghost stories start, hey?
No ghost stories are ever like last week.
Yeah.
And my family had built a house. So it was brand new. And my mum was having sort of these dreams, these really vivid dreams of this man coming closer and closer each night, sitting on the side of the bed. And she said it was just bad energy. And each night getting closer and closer, she swapped sides with my dad. And then he came that side and it got so real that she woke up and they were trying to find this man. And we had a German Shepherd at the time. And even the neighbours were like, you guys had a pretty hectic night last night because they were looking for this man. I was a quiet kid and mum had never said anything. She'd never told me about her dreams. And then I was sitting there and I was like, I've not been sleeping well. I've had this dream that this man's like coming closer and closer. And tonight I think he's going to come and get me.
No.
And my mum and my dad is like, science. If it's not science, it's not real.
Yeah.
And he was like, what on earth? So he's done some research, as you do. And apparently we've built this house on this sacred, I think, Aboriginal land or something. So
Where was that? What area?
Karama.
Right.
I've actually got a similar story in regards to that.
That's where my ghost was in Karama.
Karama?
The brother.
Oh, mine was this is a bit less ghost. Well, no, this is ghosty, but it was just like the Pines sort of area. You know where Danny used to live? What's that?
I don't know which Danny you keep talking about.
No, sorry, Danny Markworth.
Danny.
Road. Sydney Road.
Yeah, I remember Sydney Road because I was Lansdale, so it was the back there.
So Sydney Road like that. I don't know what area you call that. Backwater Road and Pines.
Nangara.
Yeah. So in the Pines, and me and 3 of my mates are doing a Ouija board, and we were on the drinks as well, so it made it even worse. And I decided to test it, and a few things were going like, oh fuck, like I'm asking questions that only I know the answer to. I'm making sure I'm not pressing on it. Seemed to really get a bit weird when one of the lads asked a question: do you have good intentions or bad intentions? Once we had a spirit in the shot glass, and it shot across the Ouija board, shot across it just went straight to bad intentions. And then I looked over at him and his nose was just pissing with blood.
That's crazy, eh?
Oh, and we just fucking sprinted out of there like fuck. But we're all young drinking. But the reason I say the Indigenous thing came up was because 2 or 3 days later, the dad said, since you guys have done that, I've been having this Indigenous guy in my dream, like saying what you've done is no good. And pissed some fucking spirits off.
Wow. Was your, do you remember what the person looked like, the man? Was it really tall?
Yeah, a tall Indigenous man.
That links up with, how's that? I just got mad goosebumps. So this morning, last night, I sent Wolfie and Branchy, I sent them a clip. There was a comedian in Perth called Nick Sun, and he left comedy. He does like ayahuasca. He's full like into all that. And the story he was telling was about him going into Aboriginal land in the middle of Australia, and he was reciting this
mantra
or this verse that he'd researched and found. And this massive, tall, like 9-10 foot Aboriginal spirit leant over and was like, "You shouldn't be doing this. Like, what are you doing? Like,
you shouldn't be singing this.
Shouldn't be singing this, boy." And it was a big 10 foot tall Aboriginal spirit. And in the comments, all the Aboriginal people that have been following are saying, yeah, the 10 foot tall ones are like the keepers of the land. And if they show up, it's not good for you. it means you got to stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
well, that's
so
good. I'll
if
stop
you've-
sleeping then.
They are the
So the fact that you
enforcers.
said it was a 10-foot Aboriginal spirit, or a big tall Aboriginal spirit, that matches up.
They were the enforcers of law and
Yeah.
keeping the Indigenous people to their
Yes.
ways.
To the law and the
Well,
ways.
I wasn't happy that we were there.
Yeah, isn't that nuts? Well, just back from Broome, I'll talk more about Broome with when we get Street X on Daniel Bradshaw, Gucci Smoothie. But my auntie, my brother's godparents, she's Aboriginal and her husband's Italian. And I was telling them about the haunted room at the Rowie, which is just an old TAB. So it's probably not haunted, it's just people have sold their soul for a bet. And she said that her daughter kept having this. There was one room in the house where the daughters were getting freaked out at. She didn't believe in any of it, but there was a lady that kept visiting, and the kids would say, "Oh, there's this lady in my room," and then she would wake up and she felt like someone was sitting on her chest. And then another kid stayed in that room, and she said the same thing. There was someone sitting on the chest, and there was this lady. So they got my auntie got one of her cousins to come, who was like a grandma who was like a cleanser, came in, cleansed the house, and from that day it left. So she just said that all you have to do is ask it to go nicely, and they leave.
Some
so
people
there wasn't an Aboriginal spirit; it was just a weird leftover.
Some people pay very good money for someone to shit on your chest. So sitting on your chest is a bit different.
So
that's I always think that like if you ask something to leave, I'd buy into it all the spirits and stuff like that. I'm maybe a bit too much. But I just like, if you ask them to leave and say you're no longer
Didn't
allowed
quite
to be
work
here.
for the Aboriginal people with the settlers, though, did it?
Oh, my Lord.
You guys got to go. And they're like, nah.
We're staying.
Yeah.
My grandma's tried that, asking the spirits to leave.
Yeah.
So we thought there was some sort of spirit in my sister's room at my mum's house now. And then we were like, oh, we got to get it to go. And Grandma's like, you just have to ask. Because we were like, all right, go on. I think I've got footage somewhere. And she's opened all the windows and she's like, go, leave. Like my grandma just running around.
Telling everyone to leave.
It was so funny.
Did they leave?
Cameras out. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know if it's placebo effect or not, because I do think placebo is a thing as well. But I had this like terrible shoulder pain that was for no reason. And it was it was.
I went and saw Jade about mine this morning.
Well, so it wasn't my left shoulder either. It was just like randomly my right shoulder. There wasn't an overcompensation or anything, and it was just coming and going. And anyway, I was talking to Holly about that, and I said to her, like, what's the scope there? Like, have I just got a sore shoulder? And she's like, the way you're describing it, how it's bouncing between you and another person, it seems to be that there's some sort of attachment. And all you should do is just ask it to go, and ask spirit to help you get rid of this attack on you.
Just during your mushroom journey, or just
no? This is just recently.
Yeah.
And so I just I asked it to go, and literally, this is where I think potentially is placebo, or maybe you just dive into belief.
That's bouncing now. Is that right?
Yeah, no, I'm still recording it as a. But and I don't know whether I'm diving too much into belief or not, but potentially just placebo. But the instant I asked it to leave, my shoulder pain completely disappeared.
Yeah, right.
And it felt like a fuzzy, numbing feeling, and it was completely fine.
That's interesting.
I'm fully aware of the understanding of placebo effect and the power of the mind. I'm saying, I fully believed that it was going to work, so potentially that's all it was. Yeah. But then there's the other side of me that goes, well, maybe I asked it to leave and it did.
Yeah.
Imagine if I did that to all the clients that came
I was just thinking, hey,
I've got a sore neck.
Just ask them to leave. That's
$80.
$80. You could start adding spiritual cleaning.
Hooroo.
You should add it to your repertoire.
Broken
Just go, hey, this sounds silly, but just focus on your pain and just ask it to leave.
Yep.
Can't hurt.
I mean,
because imagine if it starts working.
Yeah. Well, I say positive talk to your body is huge, because our body's made up of water, and you know, there's this whole thing about messages in water.
Yeah.
So I definitely say
read that book?
I have. Yeah, the Japanese one. Yeah.
The brain can definitely cause pain. Like what's spice, chili.
Yeah,
it's chili. I'm pretty certain it is. Capsicum doesn't actually burn your mouth. It sends a receptor to your brain telling your mouth it's burning, but it's not. There's actually no pain. It's all in your mind. So that makes you go. That makes me understand that obviously your brain can make you feel pain when it's not there.
Yeah, well, all your receptors are doing their job I'm telling you.
But specifically with peppers, peppers, they do not burn your skin. They do not do anything. They just there's a chemical reaction that makes you think that it's burning, and it does.
Does it burn your bum? Is that real?
Yeah. It's the chemical reaction though. Like it's not an actual burn. It's your body receptor.
It'd be interesting to see if you can get a monk to, you know how they like can heat their bodies in cold water. If they did the same thing with capsicum, see if they can like get their mind to ignore it. That would be an interesting.
Because it is part of the brain, that system. That's
how much of that did you study? Did you study any of that with your masters and your degree about pain receptors and effects?
Yeah, definitely comes
did
with it.
Did they teach you anything about like where pain
power of the mind?
Yeah, there was a whole book called like I think it was called Understanding Pain or something, and it was talking about like where your body remembers the pain it was in and it sends false pain.
Yeah.
Do you know much more about that or not really?
Yeah, that's a whole thing
really?
to dive into. Yeah, there's heaps.
To dive into.
I mean, that's a whole area of occupational therapy as well, is pain management.
Did you study any of it?
Yeah, we did it part of uni and then also the after.
Because this is not the focus for the app, but what's your and we can maybe get you back on in future and do more. What's your main understanding of pain? If we can summarize it. I've put you on the spot. But
well, it's essentially not just the signals that your body is sending to the brain, but it's also like the memories from the brain. Yeah. So it's also all those signals and all those branches that have been created over time, and it's essentially your subconscious and conscious linking up.
Right.
And creating a perception of pain. Yeah. So everyone's got different perceptions of pain.
Yeah.
And it's...
Is that because like that analogy of if you were going down a mountain and you ski the same path over and over and over, it's quicker and more effective.
The default mode
network. So if you're pain, you've had this constant pain for years
Muscle
and
memory.
years, and it just goes, right, here's the tiniest little bing, bang, and it's the quickest way.
Well, it's literally muscle memory as well, because your brain you think of that as a muscle as well.
Yeah.
Is that like, I'm interested then, because is that like, we talk about it as a contextual thing. So if I've been in way worse pain, like in a footy training session, I look at the ultra and I go, no, I've been in way worse. Is that the same sort of thing? The contextual?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, ever since I read that book, I think it's called Understanding Pain. It's a famous book, and it talks about it as like your brain and the pathways and that. Ever since I read that, I tried to really focus on just going, no, this is my body trying to protect me, like ignore it. And the pain has slowly lessened and lessened, but once every 4 months I'll get a flare up hell bad when I need to see you. But trying to reframe how you think about pain.
Well, actually,
and then I realised after you sent me for the MRI, I'm actually not crazy, because there's an 8 mil bulge in my. Where was my bulge? The SI.
L5.
L5.
SI, L4, L5.
Right. Yeah. So I have 8 mil sticking in.
Yeah.
Because does the disc touch the SI joint at all, or is there somewhere else?
Now for yours was also your thecal sac as well, but
What's a thecal sac?
Well, so you've got your spinal cord.
Yeah.
And then you've got your discs.
Yeah.
And so for you, your muscles were going into spasm. Your disc was pressing into the spinal cord. So that was the referral. Yeah. All that nerve pain that you were getting.
Yeah.
So sometimes people will sort of like feel a quick bit of nerve pain, and it's like a warning.
Yep.
And it's saying, okay, like be careful here.
Yeah.
Whereas for you, yours was sort of like it was staying there. Yeah. And because you'd had the issues with the back before, it sort of was overcompensating and it was just locked up. Yeah. If you're overusing your back, your stabilizers weren't strong enough to try and support what your body was asking for it to do.
Yeah, because that was life-changing for me to just have that validation that I wasn't fucking crazy. Yeah. And because of Jade, no one else had checked that area. Like, you were like, make sure they check that SI joint area.
Yeah, because they were talking about other things, and I was like, get your SI checked.
Well, after 10 years, like the first person to actually find where the pain's being caused.
Well, something you did want to chat about, so we can maybe go to that because it's probably relevant.
We've got a whole episode on backs for the next time. Back and pain, we'll make that the next one.
Well, this sort of touches on pain because you wanted to talk about breath work and your breath work workshop. So maybe we can start with that because the breath work seems to be valid in regards to pain and healing traumas and stuff within the body. So what have you been doing with that, and how are you using breath work to help other people?
Well, I've been seeing a lot of clients come into clinic and they've got, thoracic lockup, so the mid part of the back, upper body tension, tension headaches, and a lot of it is to do with occupation. So, you know, their exercise, CrossFit, their position at work, all of this. But a huge thing and a common issue was that people were almost hyperventilating. They weren't breathing properly. So it was a lot of chest breathing rather than actually breathing into the stomach, the diaphragm, the rib cage. Yeah. And so all that tension was being created. So not only are you creating a lot of tension in the upper body, but you're inhaling oxygen, but you're not exhaling the carbon dioxide. So all that lactic acid and CO2 is building up. And so I found that, people were breathing in but not out. And when you're exercising, you breathing in and out through the mouth quite quick. You're not getting efficient breath in. The oxygen's, kind of coming in, but it's almost like recycled because you're like you're just kind of repeating that air you're breathing in and out. So I was thinking, okay, instead of just like jumping into breathwork stuff, let me create some workshops, teach people how to take an adequate breath, like a full breath in, so the 3-stage breath, and we work on that for quite a little bit. And then we go into thoracic stretches and rib cage flexibility, because I find, you know, the more flexible you are there, the more air you can get in. And then relate it, then you can start doing all the breathing exercises, because no point saying, hey, let's do this breathwork exercise if it's not even a full breath anyway. It's
that's awesome. Well, as a walkthrough, let's do, and listeners, let's take a time out. We'll give them 10 seconds to prepare yourselves. As your listeners are preparing yourselves, take us through what the 3-step breath is.
We'll do it with you.
And we can all do it together and with our listeners. So we're going to have a nice moment together. We won't, but everybody will collectively. So how do we do a 3-step breath? How do I need to sit?
Well, you can sit down or you can lay down. Okay. I prefer start.
Do I tuck or pull?
Tuck or pull.
My coccyx tilted forward, tilted back, doesn't matter.
Just sit up nice and tall. Be nice and relaxed. Or lay down. Place one hand on your stomach and one on your rib cage.
I get fat phobic because I've got a gut at the moment. So when I breathe out, I'm like trying to suck in my fat.
All right. So first you want to relax your shoulders and your jaw. You can close your eyes so you can feel everything. All right. Take a nice big inhale through the nose and think about the air coming all the way down into the pit of the stomach. Fill up your stomach first. So think of a gateway. Once you've filled up that part of the stomach, then you think about laterally breathing that rib cage out to either sides of the room. So expanding nice and slow and controlled. And then you're coming up to the chest. Relax your shoulders, Delby. Hold it up at the top. And exhale. Just let the exhale happen. So don't even think about the chest to begin with. Fill up the belly first. You should feel your belly press against your hand at the bottom. Once you've completely filled that up and inflated like a balloon, then you expand your rib cage either sides of the room, and then chest is the last gateway to open. And then exhale, release all that tension out.
Well, that's good. I haven't breathed like that before.
Yeah, so a lot of people, it almost stings to begin with, because a lot of people really just go into either the rib cage and the chest or just the chest. The stomach is...
I couldn't get the chest at all.
Exactly, and that's how it should be. You shouldn't actually have enough room to get too much into the chest. It's the smallest amount.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Definitely the breathing I've been using in my meditations of the last probably 6 months.
Yeah.
Is breathing deeply. Like in my perception of what I feel like's happening, I don't know if it's actually happening, but I feel like I'm taking it deep into my stomach, and it's like a cycle, like a circle. It's like I'm pushing out the, I guess, carbon dioxide technically, but pushing out the old oxygen and replacing it, and then that comes out through like a circle almost.
Yeah,
it's like a circle.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's I've sort of just come up with that myself, but it made me feel the best about and it really relaxed me. And now if I do probably 10 of them, big deep breaths, I'll get into a state of quite a relaxed state.
Yeah.
What is going on, Daniel?
I'm fucking now I'm clear.
You were clear before, bro.
Nah.
Yes, you
I'm
were.
clear now.
I think you're just a little bit closer to the screen so you can see it a bit better now, bro.
Glasses.
Well, when I was on mushrooms, I started doing that, and it was fucking epic, man. On that, I could breathe in, and feel everything, but also I felt when I was filling my stomach and my body, it was almost like pushing out of where my back was.
Yes. Yeah.
But it felt really good.
Yeah, because you're expanding.
Yeah.
So you're helping sort of open up the muscle space as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
the space
fucking
between your
like,
spine and all your paraspinals, which is going to be great for you too.
Yeah. It was really like it was magic.
Yeah.
But it was like, fuck, man. I haven't felt like that before.
I had my eyes closed during that. Were you moving in that as well?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I felt like
he was holding at the top. He was like,
I couldn't breathe.
I could hear-
I don't know. I was trying to breathe in.
I could hear you.
I couldn't breathe in anymore.
I could hear you moving.
I couldn't breathe in anymore. I was here. I'm like, I couldn't get any more in. So I'm trying to.
Yeah. Well, that's that. What's that one that you made famous by a Hoobman, where you breathe in, and then the final one, just the extra one, just to fill it up a little bit more, and it's helpful.
Like
it's
tapping.
really good for stress relief.
I don't teach that one.
Okay.
No.
But that's just one
I
thing
mean, we
I've
do
heard
that in
him.
freediving.
Yeah, okay. And then just the extra.
Just eating some air there.
Goldfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of freediving, what have you achieved since our last pod? We have got breaking news.
Yeah.
World first news.
Well, I went to the World Cup just recently in May.
For freediving.
Freediving, yes. And I got bronze, so I came third overall.
In the world?
Yeah, for this comp.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Third best in the planet out of 8 billion people.
Well, not in the planet, because not everyone
But
actually participated.
according to the results, you are the latest third best in the world.
No, but I came third, and my goal was for top 10, so I was like, yeah, sick.
Yeah.
I set a new Australian record for constant weight bifin, so that's the double fin, which was cool.
Yeah.
And that's your first time using that properly where you had your own, hey?
No, so that was the monofin.
Monofin,
So
sorry.
bifins, I actually bought a pair of bifins like 3 days before I was leaving because I still had tape
Yeah.
on mine. So I was like, I think I need to grow up and get some new fins. So that was great.
So it means you're the greatest diver in Australian women's history at bifins. Right? You've got an... You got the Australian record?
Yeah, for the CMAS Australian record, yeah.
So you are to this point in history, you are the greatest freediver female that's ever lived.
No.
Yeah.
No.
In Australia?
No.
In Australia?
Nah, Amber's got 3 records. Like, she's got the other 3
At
for
that
CMAS.
at that
discipline.
You are
Well, there's 2.
currently anyone that's ever breathed oxygen. You can say it.
No.
Stats say if you're the Australian record holder at that discipline, you are the greatest to have ever walked on the planet.
There's 2
in Australia.
associations, if I'm getting technical.
Okay.
There's CMAS and IDA. They're both French.
When you were saying CMAS, I just thought you meant it was your massive body in the sea by bifins. Is CMAS...
No, let us see. Let us see. CMAS.
What does CMAS stand for?
It's French. Well, actually, I should be able to know, but I don't know.
Sorry, le maritime.
It's like,
Exactly
you know, when you got the WBO.
Yeah.
Boxing,
Well, I thought you said CMAS bifin. I was like, oh yeah, so my mass is in the ocean. I'm
Like,
being
Jade-
propelled by bifins.
Jade, yes, we know it's your CMAS.
So this World Cup, the CMAS, is this considered the biggest one in the world, or is there a bigger competition than that one?
No, there's bigger. So there's vertical blue.
Yep.
Which is the top 10 in the world for each discipline get asked to go to that, invite only.
So possibly you.
Watch this space.
Is that a potential thing, or do you have to be
for sure.
like?
That's my goal. One of them.
Okay, and what does that mean though? Like, does coming third qualify you for that?
Yeah.
No, so you need to be top 10
overall.
Yep. So from the year before. So if I were to want to go next year, I'd have to be top 10 for a discipline, and it would be constant weight for me, but it won't happen this year.
Okay.
But
How much more do you need to be top 10 for the one that you got Australian record?
No, I'm not close for that.
Really?
It's the
So
no
the Aussies
fins.
just suck.
No. It's just the no fins is definitely the one.
You don't have much deep water, no deep water here to
No.
train with, hey?
Yeah.
The last was it you saying last time you? I think it was you, saying last time that you went into the Swan River. That was as deep as you could get, and bull sharks everywhere, and fuck that.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
chance.
but I guess you could go off the edge of the
The planet.
the plate over there and out deep sea. But
You can, but then you've got a whole issue with down currents, and you don't want to be stuck in a down current at 40 meters or 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where's the best place for you to train for like a
Indonesia's
thing
the
like
closest.
that?
Really?
Yeah, I like training in Komodos in the Philippines because my coach is there, Tibo. But yeah, Ahmed and Tulumban in Bali, Indonesia. That is the closest for us.
Yeah.
Do you do any hyperbaric training stuff? Is there any benefit to that? Is there anything?
Yeah, there would be, but no, I don't.
No. So to put it into context, Jay came to the footy with me and Dad the other week, and the length she's diving down is 20 meters more than the height of the top of Optus Stadium to the bottom of the oval.
It's crazy,
Yeah, because it's
That's
like
insane.
40.2 or something, the stadium. Yeah, it's even I.
Visually, that's nuts.
Yeah,
to
when
Even
see.
I was shocked because
Yeah.
I was like, in the water, it's just blue and you've got the line and you've got really no sort of nothing to compare it to.
Isn't that interesting? Because when you look at buildings sometimes, like I look at the top of a building, like,
Yeah.
and you're like, that's actually quite tall. And you're like, it's only 3 meters. Or
Yeah.
something like that. And so you're like, oh, okay, so what's 20 meters? And then you
Yeah.
visualize that and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah, distances are, I think when it comes to height is really, we're used to measuring distance
Dece-
through distance away, like
Yeah.
not up. Like
That's why I say my dick is 1 inch. It's got a 1 inch elevation by 6.5 length.
Jade
I
wondered
just
how many.
lean backwards to try and get it higher.
Jade wondered the other day how many innuendos she could.
I've been
was gonna happen
holding
to
back for the bifins. I was like, bifins. I'm going to let that one slide.
Oh my God.
But so take us through each event and
Yeah.
what happened and what the world record is, what the Aussie record is, and then how you went. So there's 4 main ones.
All right, you're testing me because I don't know all the records.
That's okay, but you know.
So there's 4 disciplines.
Yeah.
So of the competition, there's 4 days of diving.
Well, hang on, can I reframe it for AI? What are the 4 disciplines? What are the 4 disciplines of free dive?
The 4 disciplines are
the 4 disciplines of freediving. Let me get back to you.
funny you ask.
Yeah.
So you've got constant weight, which is the monofin. Constant weight bifins, which is the bifins.
Correct. Just 2 fins. No puns needed.
No fins, which is the breaststroke movement, and then free immersion, which is the rope climb.
And constant weight means you're just being pulled down by something?
No, constant weight is you're going down and bringing the same weight that you've gone down with back up. So it's just essentially a way of like you're moving. And
Why would anyone bring weights down with them? No. So it's like your body mass.
Your body mass.
And
Yeah.
going back up.
CMAS.
Oh, CMAS.
Okay, so layout of the competition. So we had 1 dive day and then 1 rest day.
Yeah.
1 dive day, 1 rest day. So 4 different disciplines. And you could pick any discipline on any day. So
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So they don't go, everyone's doing
No.
constant mass today. You just do whatever you're feeling.
constant
Or you could
mass.
do your...
Have you watched the Deepest Breath yet as well?
Yeah, we spoke about that last time.
Yeah.
So anything.
Right.
So we had our plan, and
Yeah.
my plan was to do no fins first because I wanted to do my most comfortable dive, the one I enjoy the most, rather than last time I did my least favorite first. So this time I was like, I don't really care if I don't do my least favorite dive. So I want to make sure I do my prioritize my favorite 2 or the 2 I've got goals in, and then if anything goes wrong or I have to repeat, then I've got days 3
That's what
and
my
4.
parents did with their children. Yeah.
So yeah, day 1 was constant weight. So I announced 48. Sorry.
So when you announce, it means you're going for that and you have to hit that.
Yep. So you announce the day before at 2 p.m. You've got to write it down, and then you wake up the next day, and then you get given the night before, that evening, you get given your official top time, which is your like what time you need to be there, and it's to the T, like it's 9:08, and that's when your dive time is. So you get given that, and yeah, if you wake up that morning and you feel like you want to dive deeper, too bad. If you feel like you're a bit congested, which that happened on one of my dives, so we'll talk about that. Too bad.
Really?
Yeah. So
Do they announce it a special way, like a scroll, or they go like, today Jade is diving 48 meters?
Are you saying like an actual announcement?
Yeah, like Jade will be diving 42 meters. Or do they just
Oh my
go,
gosh.
next up, Jade, 42 meters?
well, they send it via our WhatsApp group.
Oh, cool. So everyone just gets a text going, Jade's doing 42.
And then the internet
Jess is
gets
doing
it.
50.
Yeah, literally,
Right.
they go from the deepest to the shallowest. So you've got 2 sessions, then
Yeah.
you've got a camera break in the middle, and then you've got your second session.
What's a camera break mean?
Camera break. So you've got a bottom footage
Yep.
to make sure that nothing's gone wrong at the bottom, and all the judges have to check the bottom footage to make sure that you've done everything
So
legally.
like you do your dive,
Yeah.
and then they check the footage
At the end of the day, yeah. So you've got top footage to make sure you've done your protocol at the top right, and then you've got bottom footage where the plate and all the tags are to make sure you haven't.
Okay, well, let's break that down again for the layman. So top footage, what is the protocol? And then we can go into your dives, because that makes sense.
You've got, you get given your official top. So let's say mine is, 9:08. Then you've got 3 minutes before where you can be on the line. So you've got the line so you've got the platform, then you've got the line. You're holding onto the line, and people either sit on noodles or, hang off noodles, or they've got those inflatable neck pillows. Yeah. And then you relax, and then they count you down. They say 3 minutes until official top. And then you're breathing, 1:30 until official top. 1 minute, 30 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, official top. Then only at that point can you dive. If your airways hit the water earlier, then it's a red card, which is a DQ.
Yeah.
Then you can dive, and you've got 30 seconds to start. So you can then do your full breath, dive down. And then you do your dive, and then you've announced your depth. So say if I've announced 62 meters, you've got tags at the bottom, so little Velcro tags, and you take one of those tags off at the bottom. You stick it to wherever you've got your other part of your Velcro. Funny story about that as well, actually. So I put mine on my leg, and then you swim back up, and then you hold on to the dive line at the top. You've got to make sure your airways do not go under the water. And then you have to do a recovery breath. So to make sure you don't black out. And then you have 15 seconds to, is it 30 seconds? I should know this. I'm not sure. I just do it really quick. To signal the okay sign. Then you say, I'm okay. And then they're like, yep, cool. Have you got something for us? And you show them the tag that you've picked up just to show that you've got it. So if something's happened and you don't have the tag, that's you minus 1 point.
Right.
If you've turned early at any point, that's a yellow card. If you've done the protocol right, if you've done something wrong at the top, it's a red card. That's a DQ. But yellow card is you've done everything right. You've just turned early.
And how long after official top do you have before you have to dive?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. And then does that count in your time
No.
anything?
No. It's not even about time. It's only about depth.
Yeah, that's another innuendo there, but I'll leave that. So there would be really no reason for anybody to DQ at the top and go before. If you've got 30 seconds from official time,
didn't you do
why
that
do people?
Yes, I did do that.
Why? I don't get that.
I didn't know the rules. So I just thought it was like 3, 2. This was last comp.
Yeah,
so I've learned a little bit.
And that when you
since
didn't
then.
have a pool noodle or anything to chill on.
Yeah, and I was
you were
like,
just chilling there.
Activated, yeah. And so everything was just tense. But yeah, so I've done that before, not knowing. So usually it's
But if you know,
I've never seen anyone do it.
It makes no sense at all.
I only know one person that's done that.
So you got 30 seconds. You go down. Now, I feel like, wouldn't an early turn, would that not be way more disqualifiable than
a blackout?
Yeah. Or then like doing something wrong if you give the thumbs up or the okay without saying I'm okay. If you've turned early, does that not mean you've not done the full depth?
So,
like if I'm announcing 62 and I turn before I get to 62, an early turn, does that mean I'm doing less distance?
Yeah, you are. Oh, yeah. So you get points taken off. So say...
but that feels like it should be a DQ because you're not doing the full distance.
No.
Or no?
No, because you've still done the dive. So say if someone's going, like 100, announcing 104 metres and they turn at 100, I believe it's so they've... I think it's -8 because obviously 4 that you've missed, and then you get -4 whatever distance you didn't make. So you get 8 points taken off your 100 metre.
Right.
Yeah.
And so why, and from memory, I think you said you did have an early turn, but why? What would make you realise halfway down, I'm going to have to turn early?
All right, so we'll go to my third dive first.
Okay.
So third dive was monofin. So my first second dive went really well. We'll talk about that in a minute. Third dive, in my warm-up, so for my warm-ups, I usually do 15 metres free immersion, and then I do 20 metres as my second warm-up in the discipline that I'm about to swim or dive. So then on this third dive day, I started doing my warm-ups, and I was like, okay, my ears are sticky as they are not equalising at 5 metres. 5 metres, and they're not doing good. So I was congested. I felt just like fatigued. My ears were just sticky. So I went from my normal plan, my game plan is 2 dives. I did, I think, 4 or 5 like 10-meter dives just to see if I was equalising. And I thought, I don't know if I can actually dive this because I'm not getting past 10 metres. So I'll give it a go because a yellow card is better than a red card. Gave it a go, managed to equalise somehow to 50 metres. And yeah, it was uncomfortable. Like definitely, usually my equalisation's like really gentle. The least amount of pressure to equalise my ears as possible is brilliant. So this I was doing like double the strength, double the amount of times. Got to 50 and I was like, yep, no, I can't equalise anymore. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to relax completely because the more you relax, the better it is. I'll relax into this and just ride my ears out and see when I turn. That's fine. Jade, that's all good. You've done as well as you could do.
This is all happening as you're going down.
As I'm diving. So
you're
then
trying to sort it.
50 metres, I'm like, all right, cool. And then just relaxed, accepted it. And then I've got my dive computer and my depth alarm. I've set one that goes off 5 metres before my announced depth. So for my third dive, I announced 60 metres. So at 55 metres, my alarm goes off. And I'm like,
how do you hear it? Or does it just vibrate?
Yeah, it's like a watch and I put it in my hood.
Yeah.
So I've heard it go and it vibrates and then it makes a noise. And I was like, okay, that means I'm at 55 metres. Cool. My ears have been all right. And then they started, I could feel the inflammation. I could feel like it felt like my eardrums were about to burst. And then I was like, okay, I've probably, from deciding what to do, I've probably gone down another metre and a half. So I'm at like 56. I was like, what do? Do I ride this out and potentially burst my eardrum and then I'm out for the whole dive? So this is all going through my head and it feels like a 10-minute sit-down decision that I'm doing, but it's like, seconds or not even, like milliseconds.
You're holding your breath.
That's not even a worry. I'm just like, okay, my ears. And then I'm like, nah, I've got to turn because otherwise I'm out for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just, Jade, it's okay.
Yeah,
and
check the ego and make sure you get it.
And I've looked and I've seen the plate right there. Right there, and in my head I was like, if I just grow an extra arm and reach, I can probably get this. And I've just turned around. There's like as soon as you stop, because that's part of the protocol, you can't stop during a dive, otherwise you've got to turn up anyway. I've turned around, and initially I was like, oh shit, like you could have done that, like you failed one of your goals, like now you've got a yellow card, great. And I was like, wait, hold on, be proud because that I've got deeper than what I thought, like the 5 meters that I thought I was going to dive that day. Also, it was, I think it showed more strength to turn at the point I did rather than push through because I've always been a really bad mentality to have, but I've always preferred injuring myself rather than failing. Yeah. And so this was huge. And even my coach, he said, I'm prouder that you turned early than your record because he said, I was kind of worried that was going to be a limiting factor was how much you push. And he was like, you should be proud. Like you did it. Yeah.
You live to fight another day sort of thing.
Because if you burst your eardrums, you're fucked for ages.
Yeah, exactly. It could not be great.
You've got the rest of your life to dive again.
Exactly. And so after that, I was so proud of that dive. And now hindsight, I'm like, no, I learned so much from that whole dive because even the fact of not being able to equalize my ears, my whole body was relaxed. My mind was relaxed. I had no tension in my chest. So my lungs were completely fine. No risk of squeezing, which, sometimes you've got the stress of like, okay, this is going to be hard. And then,
do you think that the alarm, like in your hood, could have flared up your ears because it was after the alarm that you felt all the pressure going?
No.
Any of the vibrations? No,
it's got nothing to do with that. Right. No.
If there was like a little vibration near your eardrum, it could like.
No, I stopped equalising. So I've got 3 alarms that I set. One is at 15 meters to do my mouth feel, which is and that's when you bring lungs up. You bring air from the lungs and you've got to hold it here. And you've got to hold that. So if you get stressed and you swallow your mouth feel, you got to turn around.
Because it inflates your chest and
because
it can
you
push
don't
a
have,
squeeze?
At some point, you're not going to have any air to equalise, so you're going to have to turn around. So you need to hold that there because that's what you're using from 30 metres to 70 metres.
Oh, so you get down and then you bring air up so you can equalise your ears.
Yeah, so at 15 metres.
How does equalisation work again?
So you're using the pressure, using air pressure to essentially move the air space.
Which is made a little more difficult with your eye, huh? The equalising?
Well, I've got to close my eye to equalise,
So you got the air in your like a throat for people that are listening and not watching, air in the throat, And where does that go then? Does it go into your head and push out your ears?
Yeah. So
it leaves your mouth and goes to your head.
Yeah. So
that's so weird.
But because of the pressure, your air is
squeezing.
is reducing.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds and looks like this. So at 15 meters, I do my mouth feel, and then I do a recharge. So some people just do their full charge straight away. Some people do little ones, like just gradually, so it's not so much tension in the lungs. So I'll do it probably recharge about 20 meters, then I'll go to fill it up because in that time you air is like
and it's coming from your stomach or your lungs.
No, not stomach. So you're bringing it from the lungs. So you do have to use your abdominals just in this one part. So to equalize, you never want to use your abdominals. Yeah, you just want to use like all this in the throat. And so I've done my
Delby.
Mouth feel. Oh no!
I've seen you smirk.
I can't even look at you.
I had a thought and I kept it to myself.
It was like this little I'll tell you.
A little twitch.
I'll tell you off air. I didn't realise I was doing that. I made myself giggle.
I've seen it.
I had an internal thought. Yeah. So then
So my mouth feel at 15, my recharge at like 19, 20. Then I've got another alarm that goes off at about 30 meters, and that tells me now you can stop kicking or stop pulling, and you go into free fall. So that's when you just completely relax and you fly.
That's like negative buoyancy, is
negative
that right?
buoyancy, yeah. And then I've got my third alarm 5 meters before my announced depth, which tells me to sort of wake up from my little slumber and get ready to focus, grab the tag, and then work.
So under those sorts of circumstances, you're under a lot of pressure. You have to make a very cool, calculated decision. How do you train yourself to be able to make decisions under that sort of pressure and make them correctly? Or is that just something you think you get with practice or like experience?
Well, I haven't got much of either of those. So I don't know. I think it comes down to mental relaxation. I've been pretty good at making decisions under pressure or stress, and I've never really had that. Like when it's fight or flight for me, I don't flight. I sort of, like can stay focused. And I guess it's just a split decision. Intuitive. I think I'm quite intuitive. So I think intuition plays a really big part there. I'm just like, okay, what gut feeling do I have? Like, do I go for it? And I was like, no, it's not worth it. And I think, for most people, divers, like going into it, you need to sort of accept that it might not be a great dive, which I learned during that dive, that it's okay, because before it was just like white card, really good results. And then I was like, okay, cool. There's no way I can do it.
Yeah.
So going back to your first dive. What's the Velcro story you were going to tell us?
Oh, yeah. So everyone has always said to me, don't change anything before your competition dives. And I was like, I actually don't know enough to like, I've got no habits yet. So I'm changing everything all the time. Yeah. So I changed a few things during this whole competition.
Genders?
Does it look like it?
Wow. Actually, it's easy to be a woman, I think, because the men's are deeper. So keep as a woman.
Yeah. So the Velcro, I was like, okay, like last competition I was putting it in my hood, but I'm now wearing goggles that are a little bit like obviously flimsier, which we'll talk about that later. So I was like, okay, where do I want to put this? And everyone's like, oh, you should try Velcro, just like stick it to your leg or stick it to your neck weight, sorry. And I was like, okay, so I got one of the girls who had like a sewing kit, and I got her to stick the Velcro on my weight belt, so I could just attach the Velcro bit
so
to that.
Smallest distance from the...
Yeah, it's just easy because it's either that I don't have a neck weight because I use a weight belt, so I was like, that's perfect. I don't want to ruin my new wetsuit, so I was like, I'll just put it on that. And I didn't realize how sticky this thing is, so it's really good. But I've never done it before. I didn't try it in any practice dives, so I've gone to my very first dive with this new little thing I've got to think about. And I was like, okay, which side is it on? Yep, cool, I'll put it on this side. And I've gone down, and I was so nervous that the Velcro was going to fly off my sticky patch that I kept checking. So in the footage, you can literally see me do like my arm pull, and I've like checked, arm pull, check. And everyone was like, you've literally checked the whole way up. And then I thought one of my checks like pushed it off. So then I've checked it again, and it was just, and so I'm like, okay, it's fine. And Tebow goes, let me show you how sticky this is. Like you can literally attach one tiny little bit and it's not going to fly off. And so then that was fine after that. But I should probably tried that.
Yeah, definitely. Train how you play.
Yeah.
Didn't even train like the most, one of the better
Same thing
bits.
with the nose clip as well. So I was wearing a nose clip and for my first dive, I'd left it on quite late. And one of the guys over there, Jimmy, he's an instructor, he was like, you should try Alessia, the one that's in the documentary, told him to take the nose clip off just before he's surfacing. So he's like, you should try that because if there's any sort of hypoxic risk at all, then it pretty much snaps you back straight away. And I was like, okay, good to know. So my second dive, so this is the record attempt, I was like, all right, let me try this. Take my nose clip off. And I've completely messed up my timing of that. So at 30 meters, I see my first safety diver. And I was like, oh, cool, I must be almost there. Forgot that I've got 3 safety divers. And I've taken my nose clip off. So the last 25 meters of my dive, I've got no nose clip on. And then at the top, he goes, great work. Why did you take your nose clip off? Nose clip off so early. I was like, oh, yeah, that was early, hey? And he's like, it was uncomfortable. He said, this is why you don't try things during a competition.
What is the what issues can that cause by taking it off? Like
it's
water going?
I mean, like when you swim, I guess. It's just I didn't have an issue with it. It actually didn't bother me at all. But yeah.
But then you got to hold it.
Well, then you kind of.
Where does it go?
Oh,
is
no,
it
because
connected
it's
to
attached.
you?
Yeah.
Okay. So your first dive, what was your distance that you did?
So it was no fins, 48 meters.
Yeah. And what's the Australian record? Do you know?
Australian record. She's second best in the world, I think.
Right. So were you far off?
70 something.
So 30 meters, so nearly double.
Yeah, I'd done a 50 meter dive.
Right.
No fins, and that was easy. Really, really easy, no issue. So 48 was like a comfortable dive.
Yeah. First competition properly. First World Cup comp. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So just go in, suss it all out.
Yeah, and for that one, my goal was to potentially podium, and I got silver for that, which was pretty cool.
How many girls are competing?
Well, I don't remember, but all up maybe like 2. No, 30.
Really? Fuck, that's huge.
Yeah.
So second in the World
20.
Cup, silver. First time in a World Cup. That's unreal.
Yeah, it was.
That's so
it was
good.
Pretty cool. Yeah. So that went really well. I was really happy with that.
So you've done your dive. The top is easy to see. Is there a worry where you might have done something and then they check the footage from the bottom and they go, oh, by the way, sorry, you fucked up here? Is that when you find out?
Yeah, so you get given your white card or whatever card you get given, and then it's an unofficial white card. And then at the end of the day, they debrief and then they check all the footage, and then you get your official
So they
card.
could pick something out that.
Yeah, and then it could go from a white to a yellow.
That'd be devastating.
Yeah. Or it could go from a yellow to a white.
What could be wrong? What could be?
So
you could have
Velcro?
You could have pulled. So you've got like a grace period at the bottom where you've got like a candy cane, and you're allowed to in CMAS, but not IDA. But in CMAS, you're allowed to pull as many times as you want within the candy cane. So it's like 2 meters or 3 meters. But say if you've pulled
down or pull up?
Up.
Yeah.
I was too nervous to even touch that, so I just kicked and did my thing. Yeah, I was I'm
just
not playing with that. Yeah. So, but if say you're doing no fins, you usually want to like have as much help as possible. So if you've pulled like a little bit high on the way up, then you get
right.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's pretty strict, but it's all about safety as well.
Yeah.
Fair play.
And do I remember you told me a story? Did I see it where someone's given the thing but they didn't say I'm okay?
Yeah, that's happened.
Is that a language barrier or is that just people getting no oxygen to their brain and they forget?
Yeah. Yeah. So there was actually, that happened at this comp as well. One of the Australian divers, he's actually from Russia though, but he was brilliant. It was a really deep dive. I think it was like 85 meters. And he was so excited. Apparently it was just felt beautiful. And he was like, almost celebrating. He didn't do the sign at all. Yeah, he was just like, I'm okay, but I didn't do the sign. And then you got the red card.
That's fucking annoying though, because if you can visually see that, they're completely fine.
No, it is about because they test the fine motor skills.
I was about to say, wouldn't that be part of it? Like your memory is a pretty big part of it. So you have to remember to be able to do that and that. And if you're not remembering to do that, then there's something going on.
Yeah, executive thinking and sequential.
So if you don't do that, do they then come over to you and like slap you around or something?
No, because he was clearly fine.
Yeah.
So it just sucks because
he was just excited. He forgot because he was excited.
Yeah, and everyone's probably thinking, "Come on, gotta do it." And
so you can't be like, "Is there anything you'd like to ask us or tell us?" You can't prompt them.
No, you can't. And in CMAS, you can't get coached. So the first comp I did was IDA, and I was allowed to have someone saying,
Jade, tell them you're all right. Yeah.
Signal, say it. Yeah.
Is there competition between CMAS and IDA where they don't like each other? Can you die for both?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is it? Just
PGA.
2 people that have gone, I want to do it this way, and another group's gone, I want to do it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Are they belonging to any country in particular, or is it just?
They're both actually French.
Sacre bleu. Either is better than CMAS. So, okay. So, your first dive, and then second dive, you got the Olympic record, the Australian record.
Yep. So, that was the plan. So, that was, so I announced that the day before. I was so nervous, and I was actually embarrassed to announce that, my whole imposter syndrome coming out.
But why? Like, what's the thought process behind that? You've chosen to do this as you've turned it more
the empathy in you
for more than a hobby,
maybe,
and you're crushing it. Like, what's the thinking behind being nervous or imposter syndrome for you?
I think it's all happened very quick.
Yeah,
for
and
me.
it's been easy.
And it's been easy. I've still had no issues apart from my eye. I've actually had no limiting factors at all.
Limiting factors.
Yes, limiting. Yes, I haven't had issues
no
with
limitations or limiting factors. Yeah,
equalization or relaxation.
So because it's becoming it's so natural and easy to you, you feel like the success you're getting almost isn't deserved.
Yeah,
because there's no
exactly.
But you are doing hard work towards it. It's just coming easier for you than somebody else.
And when I really sit down and think about it, absolutely. But it just creeps in every now and then, and I'm just thinking, okay, well, the person before me has worked 13 years to get this record, and I think I can just get this after less than a year and a half of diving.
Because there's a difference between arrogance and confidence, and if you are playing to your strengths, and if you're good at something, there's nothing There's nothing shameful about being confident in what you can achieve.
But you feel because you haven't worked hard, then it's not as good or as much as more deserved.
Which is what we talked about last week with Jess about just because you find it easy doesn't mean it's not providing value to someone, or it's not better than what other people can do.
Because when we were talking before, and I said wait to talk about this on the pod, I have the exact same thing with not so much comedy, but to a lesser extent, but with freestyle. That's the easiest thing in the world for me to do. I don't have to practice. I don't have to think about it. And people are like, oh, that's fucking awesome. That was so good. And I'm like, nah, I wasn't that good, man. I fucked up here. It was shit here.
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's not like, I'm not really working harder. But then when I step back, I'm like, well, I have been rapping since I was 14 and I have done like 1 million hours of it.
Yeah.
But even if you get success, you're like, I don't know. Because it's a solo thing as well.
You see that with other people though as well, because of what your journey was with comedy. You might look at someone else in comedy doing really well in the scene and go, wow, they're not ready. But they could be. Maybe they're just fucking good, and so.
Well, Andrew Hamilton's a great example. He's fucking so good.
Exactly. So some people find things and you're a perfect example with the freediving. Just because you've only been doing it for a few years doesn't mean you're not elite at it.
It'll be like Usain Bolt doing 100 metres and going, I don't deserve this.
Yeah.
I could run faster than everyone else. But he's still trained and he's still chosen to dedicate his life to it, which is what you've done.
Yeah. Yeah, I think things have just taken, I have worked for things and so I've not felt that sort of imposter syndrome. My work, I never feel like I'm, overstepping at all really. Or when I used to swim and tennis and stuff, I was like, I work to be here. But with diving, I'm sort of on the podium.
Well, you know what's going to happen, right? Is when you do put in the brain, your ego, when your ego and your brain associate hard work with reward, the fact now that you're getting all these records easy, in a year or 2, 3 years time, when you're hitting records of 80, 90 meters for the one that you just broke at 62, then you're going to go, oh, nah. Yeah, I've worked hard to get this. I think because you found it easy, maybe just because the Australian record wasn't as, what's the world record for the one that you got the Australian record for? 7, did you say it was 70 odd?
No, 100.
So you dove 62, was it? But the world record is 100?
Yeah,
so to get to that 100 point, how do you think you're going to feel? Is that going to be easy as he's done this, or do you know you're going to have to do way more hard work?
I don't know, because I still haven't hit that issue.
You might be able to just do it. You might be one of those people who are just gifted.
Yeah, I think my issue is time. even for this, I've had 2.5 weeks of training and 9 months off.
Yeah.
And so I had to kind of cram 9 months into 2.5 weeks.
Isn't it exciting though to know that what you can achieve with fuck all training, fuck all effort? Imagine what you can do if you put the effort
You've
in.
just got the
100%.
perfect body for it. Like the
and
weight you're put together by God suits this.
And that's the thing. Some people genetics is always said and it is. It's true. Like, and
sure.
I've come to that realization with running, for example, with me. Like, I know I'm actually find it easier than a lot of people, and that's why I can do it without.
I fucking struggle hard, can't.
But then you're like, well, fuck your way. You find it easy to rap.
Yeah.
Like that's your thing. That's fucking like I would sit there and work at it for years and years and years and go, fuck, Delby just does it. Like, and then yours is freediving.
Yeah,
like,
which is interesting because my mum hasn't done any training for any climbs, and she's done, base camp, Kilimanjaro, never any altitude sickness ever.
So she's got good genetics.
Yeah, and altitude is, going up is the same as going down. So
and catering
might be
leaning into your strengths, I think, is a good thing. It doesn't mean you don't challenge yourself and do things you're not good at and learn and get better at other things.
Yeah.
But if you're really good at something, just pardon the pun, dive in.
Into it. No, and exactly, that's what I'm doing. I'm along for the ride. But it's just I have moments where I sort of feel like I've somehow cheated the system.
Yeah.
And got there a lot quicker than most people, and but
maybe you're more efficient than more people.
Yeah.
Like some people are just not efficient enough to get to where you're at. You figured out how to do it smarter.
Yeah, and I think maybe a lot of my past, experiences have led me
swimming and
exactly
all of that.
Even
has
just
built
my
a base
mental,
level.
Yeah.
You say that you haven't deserved it. The reason it's come easy because you used to be a fucking Olympic trial level swimmer.
Yeah, oh, you
so
have.
all of that has fine-tuned your body and your breathing and your lungs. You know?
Yeah, it has,
Think about all the
plays a
training
part.
sessions you did as a swimmer. What time did you have to get up in the morning? Like 4 a.m.
Early,
Fuck that. You put in all the hard yards there and it's just transferable across the diving. So
so let's talk about the training and what you can do because you're in such a limited area of training. I know you do a little bit of pool stuff. You go to Scarborough and Craigie and do the underwater training. What's involved in that? Because you can't just rock up. You do need to prep. So what's involved in the training?
Well, I have a coach now.
Yep.
So Tebow. Which was
Tebow.
great. Tebow. So he gives me a session a week and we have 2 video calls. So one he'll just take me through sort of like a attention deconcentration or meditation for 15 minutes, but then we'll have like an hour call every week. And he'll give me a bunch of thoracic stretches, equalization things, attention deconcentration things, and then he'll say, how many pool sessions do you want to do? Minimum 2 or 3. I think minimum 3. And then he'll mix it between autonomous and buddy sessions. So autonomous is sessions that don't involve too much hypoxic training, so there's no risk of blackout. It's not dangerous. And then a buddy session means I need someone there just in case because it's pushing it a little bit. So he'll give me 3 or 4 pool sessions. So I'll do that. And then I've been doing 3 CrossFit sessions just to mix things up, a lot of cross training. And then I'll complement that with 3 or 4 gym sessions, just normal strength training, specific to
what's a
whatever
pool
I want.
session? Because you can't get deep enough to
pool.
train properly. Right?
Oh, just back and forth. Yeah.
Underneath?
Yeah. So, for example,
like
I might
the documentary where she was going up and back underneath?
Yeah. So, for example, say one session might be like 20 50s underwater on a 1 minute 15 cycle. So,
Okay.
Or you might do like sub-maxes. So you do 3 sub-maxes, so just before you feel like you're at your peak. 3 of those in a row. So it just depends, just random sessions, sometimes technique-based.
Is it impossible for a human to dig a deep enough pool for people to train?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, they do have deep pools. I think they've got one in Dubai. They've got a 60
there's a few
one
floating
in
around.
Italy. Yeah.
But like,
not here.
what I am interested in, like, so with the training and stuff, it's public pools.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? At one time I'd seen you there when we were spotting and you had people just walking in front of you, like, and you're prepping, you're trying to do your, you're trying to get into your mind space, you know, it's a 50 metre swim underwater where you're trying to do things.
Just think of them as sharks.
Yeah, like what do you...
Pool sharks.
What do you do? Like, how do you
Well,
deal with
I
that?
mean, yeah, I've had a few issues, but I mean, I'm going to a public space. I can't expect everyone to clear out. People sometimes do, but I kind of work around them. I have a lot of people come up and they're like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" And I had one lady who was so lovely, and she was like, she asked about it, and then she was like, "Oh, okay, I'll make sure no one talks to you." And she's saying, "I'll protect your lane, and I'll make sure if anyone tries to distract you, you're doing your breathe up." And she's talking to me for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, "Thank you."
Thank you. You're distracting me
Let me
now.
Yeah.
So I've had, people are just curious, and I'm fine with that. Sometimes I'm like right in the middle of a session. I'm like, "Oh, yeah," and I feel rude, but
You should just go, "Hey, to ask my coach."
Where's my coach? He's in the
You're
Philippines.
you're just training by yourself.
Yes, well, some of them I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or just point to a random person. Go ask my coach.
Yeah.
So I just go to some randoms. What's she doing?
And then I've got one lifeguard that came and didn't like me wearing a weight belt.
Why?
Well, he said it was going to crack the tiles. So then the next session, I wrapped a sock around it, and I was like, I sorted my weight belt out. So I don't know, but look, I used to be a lifeguard, and I understand that going underwater doing hypoxic training is a little bit.
I'll fucking make him work
nerve-wracking.
for his money. That's what his job is. A lifeguard.
Yeah.
Guard my life, cunt. Start watching. Otherwise, they just
Poor
fucking
guards.
sit there for ages.
I did one session spotting for Jade, and I can tell you right now, I slept for like 3 hours that afternoon. It's
True.
Because you switched on for heaps, or
swimming is different, man.
is what's spotting? I thought you were on top looking down.
Yeah, but you got to swim.
Oh.
Like, you got to keep up with her, and she's swimming underwater.
Oh, fuck that. I can't
I
swim.
fucking just doing freestyle on top, and I can't fucking keep up, man.
keep-
I don't understand how you do it whilst holding your breath.
I'll keep my freestyles to the mic.
I was just on top, and I was broken. So obviously, doing that stuff is still a training thing. It's building up your fitness, but it's not getting you the depth, the pressure stuff.
Yeah.
So that's you're getting fit, you're getting your breath holds,
More efficient at using oxygen.
but you're not training depth.
No, so that was the only thing. So I felt great going into this. It was the fittest I felt. I had a few moments before where I was like, okay, gym's going great. I feel strong. I feel fit. And I was a bit worried that I was like, okay, am I doing all of this hectic training at the gym for nothing? But it showed so much in all my dives. Like I did not have any contractions. So my CO2 tolerance and lactic acid tolerance was great. Which was good. So that was really good. And it's motivated me now to
Go harder.
Yeah, smash out the gym.
Is there a way to train yourself on top of water till you're completely fucked and your lungs are like, and then holding your breath and going under? Does that help?
Yeah, that's a part of training as
right.
well.
Oh,
So
wow.
sometimes we do, so you'll just be in the water for 30 seconds, holding your breath, and then you get your first contraction, say after like a minute, and then you start. And so you've got to do, so there's all different sorts of like styles
It
of
fucking
training.
freaks me out when you showed me how you hold your breath and contract. That could be a good
Oh,
bit
yeah.
of clip for your TikTok, or we could film it after this, but
Yeah.
it looks like you're dying when you're holding your breath and it's just fucking like spasming and shit.
Oh,
It's not cool.
Okay, I wasn't that intense, was I?
Well, it's just not. It looks unnatural.
Well, yeah.
I don't
You know?
know. I want to say that, but
It'd be good for content.
oh bloody oath!
You literally, we could clip up Jade holding her breath on the couch, and you watch it, the spasm, and you just go hard yarns.
Yeah, this is what
Free
it is.
diver goes into spasm above ground.
Yeah,
It's fake. It's misleading, but it's like it's definitely
what's
like
the
a training thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, 100%.
And did you get a white card? Did you say this time or no? Yellow
what?
card? Did you get yellow? Was that for
Yellow
the
was my
early
third
turn?
dive. Yeah, early turn. Yeah, and then white for the rest.
And fourth dive was
Fourth dive,
just
good, easy.
good.
Free immersion, which I was almost going to do the no fins again and try and now
Past,
it's like
present, and
54,
immersion.
54 meters. But that's when T-Bow was like, "You're actually in the running for overall," and I was
Right.
like, "Oh, that means I've got to do free immersion."
Oh,
And
you didn't
I-
want to do it.
No, I didn't want to do it, and I actually got bronze for that, which was
Nice.
random. That was
Yeah.
not a goal.
Yeah.
So which one's free immersion again? Sorry,
The rope pull, the
Rope pull down.
climbing. Yeah,
That looks like the most fun.
yeah. A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Is
It is. It's growing on me a little bit.
Yeah.
Is it the hardest?
It's the easiest
That's why you don't
for
like
most
it.
people. Yeah.
Is that
probably.
why they can go further?
Yeah, no fins is meant to be the hardest. Yeah, yeah, it is. So you're not using any legs. So
Yeah.
you're not using any oxygen
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
with your legs. Yeah,
You should theoretically be able to go way deeper then.
yeah. I think monofin because it's also quick and like you with that surface area of the fin, you just like one kick and just like and
Yeah.
you fly. So that's the deepest, and then it's free immersion. But they're starting to get like sort of closer and closer. and then bifins, and then no fins.
Yeah.
So before I want to get onto how you figured out your goggles stuff, but before it just popped into my head a story you mentioned once about training with sharks potentially. Do you recall that
when
one?
I went to the Maldives?
Yes, and like learning to avert sharks.
Yeah. So redirect sharks. That was random.
Yeah. So that just popped into my head. So before I forget,
yeah,
that's
because
an
she's got to
interesting.
redirect people at the pool.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
You gotta
great.
redirect-
So I went to the Maldives and studied the interaction of tiger sharks. So it was the first sort of, I guess. Bless you.
Jesus,
Just working on my breath.
Just watching the interaction of freedivers and tiger sharks. So we learned how to, redirect them. So what to do, what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
You see your tiger shark and you make eye contact because tiger sharks are beautiful. They have such a beautiful nature. They don't want to hurt you.
I can tell
They're
from
not like
their
bull
history.
sharks. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just curious and they are lazy. They don't want to have a fight with a human. They just want a dead seal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're splashing around on the surface, then they're going to get really curious. But then if you show eye contact, swim towards them, then they're like, okay, yeah, cool. You are not a dead seal.
Yeah.
See you later. So you literally just swim towards them and then they'll sort of usually pick a direction and then you just follow them, swim alongside them and make eye contact.
But you got to fucking strong arm the cunts. So they come at you.
Yeah,
you
like
go,
playing
I'll
chicken.
come at you.
Yeah.
Fuck, you only got to get it wrong once.
No, well then if they
Like-
if they don't move, then you put your arm out and then
They eat
they're
it.
on the nose and then they sort of move you. So you're not redirecting them, you're sort of redirecting yourself, but then they'll
Have you done this yet?
Yeah, we did that.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, I had an
Oh, you
I
got it on
actually-
film?
You had a bit of a
I
dicey
had a
shark
few,
thing.
yeah. My breath hold.
Was that
probably a record
specifically
there.
for training with tiger sharks?
Well, this was just sort of like more a fun dive, but I think it was like our second or
yeah.
third one.
So fun.
And so we had our group, so they were like, say, 8 of us.
But it was for shots specifically out
Yeah.
there to do tiger shark stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was down there and we just learned, like literally just learned. And Jono, he's got all the researcher, he's great.
Yeah, it sounds like you fucking know that.
He told
You fucking trust me, cunt. Jono said just swim at it, right? And you fucking eyeball it, cunt. And if it doesn't move, put your hand out. Jono reckons, fuck you, cunt. Dustin Martin, the shark. Fuck Dustin from the Tigers. They fucking fend off. Tiger shark, bang.
Yeah.
Righto, so Dr. Jono reckons.
he's actually Australian.
Yeah.
So we were down there and I had my little moment where I saw this big mama and she was big and I was like, yeah, cool. Easy. Everyone's been doing it. I've been doing it. Nothing's gone wrong. It's all fine. She was not happy. She was probably like maybe the most aggressive one that we saw that day. Actually, maybe that whole trip.
Women, eh?
And then I've gone and I'm like, okay, yep, it is not budging. Cool, I'm about to like swim straight into this tiger shark head first. And I'm like, oh no, and it's just coming and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I forgot exactly what happened actually, and it just happened so quick, but I've sort of redirected it, swum along it, and I'm so focused, and it was a long breath hold at this point, and I've finally got her off, and then there's another shark coming at me. So I haven't got time now to like go back up because then they're going to get curious. So then I'm like, okay, redirect this one. Then I've got 2 coming this way and I was only focused on 1.
Oh my God.
So there was just like, a moment where there were quite a few coming out.
How long did you hold? How was your breath hold for that point?
Maybe like 40 minutes or something.
40 minutes?
I'm joking. It felt like that.
How far down were you?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like only 12 meters or something.
And you held your breath like 2 minutes, 3?
Oh,
5?
Maybe 5.
And so you've
contracting. And I was saying before, I don't contract, but at this point, I am not in my relaxed depth diving free dive state.
Yeah.
I am like,
heightened.
yes, I am on. I am like looking at all these eyes.
Yeah. So big mama's come at you. You push her off. You start contracting. You turn. You
Not
see
at
another
this
one.
point. Yeah.
Then that comes and you fend that.
Yeah.
And then 2 more come.
Yeah. And then I'm at this
And
point.
what do you do there? Double fend? Or
No,
you
I
swim
had
at both?
one, and then I think Jono came down to sort of move the other one out. But here I am,
Got a
like,
shepherd.
where's the group? And because
that's
I've
a
just
sea
been
shepherd.
like,
Yeah.
because I've been swimming so far off, the group's over there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get told off. Something's going to happen. And I've come up and everyone's like, oh my gosh, like, whoa, that was sick. And that adrenaline.
The shark whisperer.
Yes. I was actually wearing my shark bathers that day.
Oh my God.
My good luck. Oh, I loved it. It was
Did anyone film it?
Best. Yeah, it was on this 360 camera, but the rope was in the way. So
but can you see anything?
Yeah, I try to find it.
Yeah, send that because that's going to be an awesome clip.
Yeah, it's not very good footage.
It doesn't matter. The clip's going to be I was fending off a big mama shark and I turned on another shark.
Yeah, it was such a cool experience.
But do you think that because you're contracting, that's like a fish, you know, like a fish is sending off?
I was not even thinking about my breath hold.
Yeah.
I was happy down there.
Yeah.
Rather than a little nudge at the surface.
How long do you think can you hold your breath full stop?
5 minutes, and 56 seconds, I think, or 58.
Wow.
Fuck.
It hasn't changed in the last 8 months.
Wow.
Someone's going to get fucked up, man. Imagine these tiger sharks. They just know every second day, group of 15 cunts comes.
A lot of people do it a lot of the time.
The one person that they figure out, this is a weak cunt.
No, the ones who get attacked are the ones like flopping around and fucking being idiots. But,
I don't know.
But let's go back to your goggle stuff.
Goggles and your eye.
Because that was an issue. And that still remains probably an issue for you going deeper. I'm interested how you navigate it and how did you figure out what was going on with it?
Yeah. Okay. So for those who don't know, I have a hole in my eye where I equalize with my eye. So that sound. Yeah,
that was her eye. She breathed through her eye.
So you can squirt milk out of that as well.
I can. Well, this is part of the story. Have I told you this yet?
No.
Okay. You're in.
Delby, compose yourself. All right.
So in order to equalize my ears, I have to close my eyes. If I don't close my eyes, then it just comes out of my eye. So that has been an issue because most people, majority of freedivers, just wear a nose clip and they don't wear goggles. If they wear fluid goggles, then great, they fill it up with water, but it's never an issue any of the airspace. Last competition I was wearing a mask, so then I wore an external nose clip that clipped onto the mask and then I just opened my eyes to equalize. Anyway, so going into this comp, I was thinking, okay, that can't be the answer. I'm not going to be able to get too deep with that. And I want to deal with it now rather than get to, 80 meters, have an issue and then have to fix it once I've started developing all these habits, creating all these habits. So I was thinking about it a lot. I bought all this gear. I bought fluid goggles. So fluid goggles are goggles that have special lenses that when you fill them up with water, you can still see. It sort of corrects all the water.
And can you see through the water?
Yeah, so you fill them up with water, you open your eyes in the goggles, so it is kind of uncomfortable, but it's not kind of all blurry like you would with normal goggles.
That's cool.
And does it have to be with the sea water? Can you do...
No, any water.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I bought those thinking maybe that's an answer to the solution because when I have tried to dive with just a nose clip and no mask, I always had this issue where I was swallowing my mouth fill. So that and then I was like, no, I'm actually just swallowing from 5 meters and I've not mouth filled anything. So I was just swallowing all the time and I was like, what is it stress? And I was like, no, I'm not stressed. Every single person, including my coach, everyone's like, it's stress. So I was like, but I don't feel stressed. I can't be swallowing at 4 meters when there's no way I'm stressed. Yeah, of course it's uncomfortable opening your eyes underwater. Anyway, so then I was like, okay, try these goggles, tried them out, filled them up with water, and I'm still swallowing. And I was like, okay, this still isn't working, but I'm definitely not stressed. Anyway, so this is the first 3 days of my training when I was over there. Tebow just said, have some fun, depth adaptation. Day 4, he was like, all right, what have you decided about this eye? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, you have to work it out. Day 4, this is it. Whatever you decide today, you're doing for the whole comp. It's either a mask, no mask, goggles, whatever. And I was like, okay. So I was going down, tried these goggles out. And then David, he was on the line with me. He's one of the instructors. He was trying to help me work it out, what I was swallowing. So he's got the GoPro. And as I'm going down, he's like, yeah, the water out of your right eye is sort of is emptying.
It's just gone into your eye.
Yeah, well, he's like, but you've got no leakage going down. So then I turn back up and it's very clear coming up that all the air is coming out of my eye, which is fine. But then it's going down is my issue. And so then I was like, okay, that's so weird. So we've filmed it and it's empty by the time that we're at the bottom.
So the water in your right goggle,
yeah,
you get down at the bottom and it's empty.
And it's empty. So where has that water gone, right?
Okay.
And everyone is like, Jade, it's stress. You're swallowing stress, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool, okay. I'm at the top doing my breathe up for the next one. And I was like, okay, this might start to answer some of my questions. So I filled my goggles up and I'm on the surface and I just close my eyes to equalize, open my eyes to equalize. Do that for about 30 seconds. And then I've done this and my right goggle was empty. And I'm like, okay, let me spit that water out that I've just swallowed out of my eyeball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've just been swallowing. So that's what I'm swallowing. I'm actually swallowing water. So I was so happy that it wasn't stress because I knew it wasn't. So then I was like, okay. Now,
so you were drinking water with your eye.
With my eyeball.
And even at the top.
Even at the top, which is so weird. And I told my coach that and he was like,
is that because of the pressure that it's pushing in?
There was no pressure, right?
What the
Because I'm
fuck?
at the top. It's so weird.
So
He
you can
said he's
suck
never
with your eyeball.
Yeah.
So I assumed that's what was happening when you first told it, that the water was going into your eye.
Yeah, because it felt like that. I said to people, it felt like a brain freeze and then I was swallowing something. But then I was like, okay, so obviously I can't have any water in that goggle. So I put these fluid goggles on and I kept my right one empty. So it was just air. And my left one I filled up.
Is that cheating?
No.
Because you got extra air in the space of your goggle?
No, because I'm having to equalize. I will have to equalize that. So I'm actually wasting air. But it's better equalizing a little goggle than a whole mask.
Yeah.
So I've used these fluid goggles, but then because it's empty, you can't see anything out of that eye. So I'm now like getting tangled in the line like 3 or 4 times in a row. So I was like, oh, actually, I brought my old swimming goggles out. Let me try these. Problem solved. And it was the best session of my life because that was starting to worry me.
What do you mean?
What was the difference between old swimming goggles?
Well, because I don't have the lenses to mess up all my vision at the top.
Oh, so those lenses were made to correct the water, but when you take the water out, it's just like looking through glasses that you can't look through.
Exactly, yeah. So now I've got my old goggles. So now I literally you'll see it in all the comp videos, my left goggle is full of water, right one fine. I just equalise every now and then. Not as much air.
Could you do
wastage.
it where this one, you change the lens, so the left lens is the
I was
water?
thinking of creating my own goggles, but then it's probably a little bit, maybe I'll waste too much energy trying to like focus because then I'll be really trying to like, my eyes will be focused on two different things.
Bifocus, fins. Bifocal fins.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
But
it was brilliant.
Isn't it scary though, if you do get it fixed, what are they going to do? Stitch your eye together? Could it burst open again underwater?
Yeah, I'd probably just leave that.
Just leave it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
just
happy
deal with it?
Yeah. I mean, yes, of course, I'll be wasting a little bit of air, but it's okay. I've accepted that.
Yeah.
To work on.
So how far down can you go with goggles? Can you go all the way down? Will that affect anything?
As long as I've got enough air to equalise my goggles, but the deeper you go, the less you need to equalise because the pressure change is different. So the initial part of the dive, the first, say, like 30 metres, I have to equalise the air in my goggles a little bit more often.
So the people who go down like 100 metres or whatever?
They usually don't have goggles, or they will have goggles with water. So I don't know.
Okay,
I will let you know.
So that will be the next challenge, I guess. The deeper you go, if you can't use goggles at those depths, what's the scenario there?
Well, I'm going to have to just be so good with my air control and how often I equalise. Eventually, I'll know exactly when I need to equalise my goggles to sort of use the air in the most efficient way.
Is there any risk to your vision?
If I forget to equalise one time, then you can squeeze your eye. You can get like a goggle squeeze.
But I mean, with your hole, is there any risk to?
Don't know.
Where does it go from your inner eye to your nasal passage?
Yeah, but then I've got the nose clip, so it can't come out. So then I swallow it.
Yeah, because a lot of people would have the exact same issue, but they're not trying to be the world's best free diver. So
yeah, well, I mean, Tivo said he's never ever in his years of diving, he's never heard of that. Wow, and neither have any of these big names, Alexei Molchanov, Alessia.
I guess that's why
never heard it.
They're always on like the Ripley's, believe it or not, like squirting milk out of their eyes and stuff.
You can
like
never
that.
do cocaine or just pop out your eye. Just come straight back out.
Yeah. I feel like I need a one-way valve where I can like equalise.
Yeah.
But it won't come in.
Let back off. So are you allowed to tell me what you told me at the footy about potential sponsors, or are we going to keep that under wraps?
Yeah, not
all
yet.
under wraps.
Yeah.
All right.
It's very exciting, though.
Yeah. Hopefully. But if you are looking for a new sponsor, Hard John's Podcast is where you want to sponsor.
Yeah.
Sick. Oh, I think was there one or two other things? Let's have a look. Training leading up. Diet alcohol. That's our last bit.
I'm interested in that.
How do you buy diet alcohol?
I'm sorry. I know that didn't get the biggest reaction, but that is the funniest thing I think you've ever said on the podcast for me. I like that.
Diet/alcohol. There's a lot more, trust me. Buddha called me. Buddha goes, man, those riffs you doing were so funny. I was pissing it and you get nothing. I'm like, thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Shout out Buddha. Also, while we're doing a shout out, I bumped into a listener.
Okay, cool.
Randomly. I was not I thought I was leaving the venue. I feel bad about the interaction I have. So shout out. It was either Riv. I wrote it down. It says Riv or Reef. We were at Carrying Up. We did Hijinks Hotel with my brothers. And I thought we were leaving. So he goes, Delby, I turn around. I said, oh, hey, man. He goes, listen to Hard John. I was like, what's going on, bro? Thanks, brother. And he was on a date. And I was like, I've got to go.
Yeah.
But then we did that awkward thing where we were leaving, me and Jamie, but Chris had just booked bowling. He goes, no, I just bought it. So I had to turn around. You know, so shout out to Riff. Because I was like, sorry, man, like I'm going, you know. And I was like, my social battery was flat.
Yeah.
Because we just did the Hijinks Hotel and it was a full workout. Yeah. So shout out. Thank you for listening. And any other listeners in the social life or public, say g'day, and I promise I'll try and give you.
It is nice because of late I've had a few people coming up saying, I've seen you a few times and hadn't said it, but I listen or I've seen your clips and like just come up first time. It's fine.
Yeah,
we love
and
it.
also
I still love it. Like I don't know if you still do.
I'm going to put a thing on.
Yeah.
If you only watch the clips, don't come up. If you're a true listener, I want you to start watching the clips and then listen to the Spotify and subscribe.
But the only people who are going to be able to hear that, because I'm not going to clip that up, are going to be the people who listen.
Fuck.
So it doesn't work.
Well, come on up, unless we're going to do an Inception and clip this
Oh,
for the story.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's almost like podcast snobbery. I'll listen to your pod. Do you really?
Do you really, or do you
just
at
watch
the
the
clips?
Yeah.
Like, you know who watches Eclipse?
That's like going,
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt. Don't you fucking come up to me.
Is he following you?
Yeah.
And and Kelly Slater and a few. Yeah, it's
Mario
sick,
Balotelli.
Yeah, Delby knows who that guy is. I don't know who that
Big
guy is.
worldwide soccer player. It'll be like people going, I'm a comedian. And you go, oh, really? What do you do? They go, I do open mic 5 minutes.
I guarantee
That's what you
Usain
are.
Bolt doesn't listen to our episodes though. So if he comes up to you and
Well, there are exceptions.
do not turn him away, bro.
There are exceptions to the rule. But an open micer is someone that watches the clips and a proper comic is a listener.
Perfect.
So
That's
we'll
good.
break that down. So it's back to being healthy with diet alcohol.
Yes.
What was the lead up? Because did you cut booze?
Yeah, well, so last competition I was really
Maggot.
pretty strict on myself with like not touching alcohol.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit silly. Like I think I realized that's a bit unnecessary. So definitely wasn't having any big binge nights. Definitely every now and then would have a glass of wine if, you know, like a social sort of outing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't as strict on it. Leading up to it, I was like, I won't drink. So yeah, I think alcohol in the frequency, I think, makes a huge difference. But every now and then, like on an occasion, it was fine.
Being a depressant, it wouldn't it relax you a bit more?
But it also increases your heart rate, doesn't it? Well, it does.
Does it?
Yeah, you
Yes.
can
I
have
thought a depressant decreases your heart
No,
rate.
it increases your heart rate.
You can have
Because of all my impure thoughts.
this isn't much either, but you can have the difference between no alcohol and 2 drinks a week is negligible. So 2 drinks a week.
And I wasn't even having that. It was just every now and then, just like more of a social thing. But still, as a whole, I was not drinking. I was not having big nights at all.
I seen Tom Holland, a little clip on him talking about it. Did I share it to you?
I've seen him talk about it
When
before.
he's like, if you were to start it now, if you were to bring out this product now where you could say, look, it's a bit of a poison that makes you feel a bit weird. Sometimes it makes you aggressive. Sometimes it makes you funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes you sad, whatever. Like
I'll have 5, thanks.
If you brought that out now, society would go, no, mate, I'm fine.
It ruins
I'm not doing
traditions. It ruins families. It makes men fucking violent. It turns women into violence as well. Because it destroys families.
Yeah, and because it's an existing thing, we can't go back. Well, we can, I guess. But look, I think you can just...
Well, if ISIS gets its way, we will have a caliphate state, and that will be...
A what?
Is it a caliphate? The what they've been trying to push for?
Oh,
CALIPHATE, caliphate.
No.
The whole thing they want is, what is a caliphate?
Who wants
caliphate?
ISIS, did you say?
Yeah, caliphate is an institutional public office under the leadership of an Islamic steward with the title of caliph. A person considered a political identity is... just cut off there. Oh. Yeah, it's basically Sharia law, Islam law.
Which is what? No drinking.
Yeah, it's basically just... But the women get a bit of a raw deal.
Look, 80-20. I still subscribe to that sort of thing in life. 80-20.
Girls between 80 and 20?
I think 80% discipline, 20% a little bit of... what I say?
Finger in the bum.
Alan Watts's quote. What's that one?
Fuck bitches get money.
No. The quote from Alan Watts is that the element of irreducible rascality is what makes us human. So the ability to have a little bit of a rascal moment, a little bit of a blowout.
Is it rascal or rascal?
Oh, however you want it. But rascality is the actual word.
Really?
But being able to blow out a little bit, it also makes those moments of discipline worth it. Yeah. And I think it's that contextual thing. Yeah. But remaining 80% disciplined, I think, is pretty good. And then having a little bit of a room for, a little wiggle room for a fucking dirty burger on a Saturday night.
Yeah, and it's balanced. That's and same with diet as well. I believe in a balanced diet. Like, I know it's very individual. Everyone works on different diets. Some people are great on plant-based diets or carnivore diets, but for me, it's definitely balanced. Like, don't like cutting anything out, everything in moderation. And that's what I also do leading up to comp. I have a thing where I eat pasta before my dive. Oh, no, right before, the night before.
Yep.
I eat nothing before my dives. I was actually, during all my training cycles, I was trying to test out what to eat before, because it's, you got to find that balance between having energy and fuel, but also not putting food into your body, because obviously you need to spend energy to break that down.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
have you
I
found like an ideal,
Italiano
like,
pasta.
I need this before this to operate at my best?
I tried everything, bananas and peanut butter. I really wanted that to be the winner, but it was not. It was a fail.
I've never had bananas and peanut butter.
Oh my gosh.
What do you have, in bread or like just on its own?
Chop the bananas up and spread the peanut butter all over it. So good. Not good for diving.
Oh.
Yeah, tried everything. And the winner was eat nothing before the dive.
Right.
At all. Pasta the night before. I did not try anything but pasta the night before, so I wouldn't actually know if that's the best. But nothing before works for me. I don't.
I like fasted when I'm trying to do things. Out of like habit, I used to have a big Subway before footy games, but in my latter years, I felt better not eating before. Like having breakfast maybe, but not eating before the game.
Yeah, I found with footy, Friday was pasta. Even that's probably old science now. Yeah. But the morning, as soon as I started doing a 6 a.m. open at Dome, being up on my feet and moving nice and early, and for like a 1 o'clock game, it was magic. I would have like coffee and then a couple of V's. Yeah. And just a sausage roll. Like 2 before the game. And then I'd have maybe a sausage roll at the game, and that was it. And I'd feel like I was flying.
You know what the best thing you can have before a footy game? Sudafed.
Oh. Yeah, Sudafed.
Mate, I'm telling you. It's the Colton flu, high in Sudafed, fucking smash it.
It's the precursor to MDMA, man.
Well, you can't have it.
You tackle them and you're just hugging them longer. You're the best, mate. I love
you can't have it now.
Yeah, it's illegal. Performance enhancing.
I genuinely noticed once they brought it in a waffle and they said, no, you can't have...
Everyone started sneezing?
Mate, my performance dramatically dropped.
Wow.
Like dramatically. I had to find other ways. And then I never played football again.
Sort of fed up.
It makes a huge difference.
Fuck. Yeah, it is the precursor to drug to MDMA. So that you can only buy two packets. Yeah. Which is silly, because you could go to every pharmacy and buy 2. You know. But yeah, people were ram raiding pharmacies and stealing fuckloads of Sudafed.
This weekend is like one of the first, like I think I told you that a few weeks ago I was going to go as a 40th and I was going to get drunk and have a good night and I end up like my babysitter bailed and I end up having like 5 or 6 pints. I still got a little bit tipsy and I woke up, not too bad. And I'm still like, I haven't had a big night this year. So this Saturday I'm endeavouring to have a big Saturday night at the Breakwater. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Well, anytime you plan it, though, it doesn't.
But no, but
it has to be
40th,
organic.
there's something different about 40th. Like 21st and 18th were always big. 30th became this thing of like you felt like you had to think, but everyone was like, a bit over it. Now 40th, you're edging into the era of my kids are at home with a babysitter. I've got one night, like we're fucking going hard. It becomes exciting.
Edging into that midlife crisis.
100%. They're like, so they get,
Yeah.
everyone gets so excited. And it's like, I'm taking advantage. I haven't seen you for fucking 10 months. Let's fucking have a big night.
Yeah.
I've got a big night Friday. I'm doing the ladies strip night. I'm opening for the strippers.
Oh, sick.
So it's always fun.
Yeah.
Touch wood. I've been looking forward to it, but like I don't want to because anytime I look forward to something, it's shit. I'm trying to like temper my expectations.
Before we finish up, because it's been a good episode, you've done really well today and covered everything that we wanted. But one thing I wanted to know is, so you got a lot going on. You got your business, you got your free diving, your Pilates stuff. There's a lot to balance. Do you have an outlet? Like
eye hole.
Like, do you have something that is for you?
Relaxing.
This is my, I don't know, is it sitting down having a wine? Is it, I don't know what it is, but do you have something? Because like I said the last few podcasts with us, mine is golf. It's become like, I just fucking put my phone away. No one can reach me. And it's just, that's my outlet. And Delby's the same. He's got a lot going on. I don't know what his outlet is. Mine's golf, but
a lot of porn.
Yeah.
No, running is mine.
Yeah.
I'll go for a jog, chuck in my headphones, and then just go
so
for
running feels like a task to me. It's like something I like to do, but it's a part of what I do.
Running is a punishment for me.
Yeah. What is your outlet? Do you have an outlet of like this is me?
An easy dip in the ocean is huge for me. I definitely, I feel like that heals everything, but it's getting cold and I am pathetic when
Isn't
it comes
it depressing?
to the cold. It is. So I like to listen to a vinyl and sit and chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, like definitely the ocean. If I feel like I'm like, okay, recoup Jade, it will just be jump in the water.
Yeah.
And then for a really hot shower afterwards.
Yeah, because it must get a lot. Constantly doing something.
Nah.
No?
I mean, sometimes I'm like, okay, listen to your body. I feel like you're about to burn out.
Yeah.
But my outlet, it would be diving.
Yeah.
That would be what oh my gosh. Even just thinking about it, I was like, I was just relaxing about it. So I think it's just, okay, well, it is diving. So what do I have to do to make that even better? And then I enjoy whatever that is. So it might be my meditation or it might be my thoracic stretches or going to the gym. I actually really enjoy going to the gym. I actually really like CrossFit. I never thought I would say that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I rock up because I'm thinking all the time, right? In all my work and even diving, you're sort of like thinking. But with CrossFit, you rock up and you're told what to do. Yeah. I'm planning out all my things all the time. But so I actually really enjoy that.
Yeah, getting told what to do. I've hired a dominatrix just to relax a little. Love being told what to do without having to think.
Do you see Frenchie?
Yes, mistress.
You see Frenchie got one on?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. All right, good original idea, Frenchie.
Good
Shout
stuff.
out, Frenchie's fucking legend.
All right. Do you have anything, or do you want anything else to touch on?
No,
Delby?
I just was going to say, aside from diving, you got to live in the Philippines, right? Like, was that cool
Oh
or
my
what?
gosh, it was so cool.
Yeah, the sunsets looked fucking
it was
incredible.
amazing. So it was like 2.5 weeks it was just training 3 days on. So a lot of the divers had either 2 days on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off. I was 3 days on, 1 day off. So it was pretty hectic. It was literally like wake up, train, eat, workshop, eat, sleep every day. And then I had the competition. So it was like almost exhausting because you're kind of like trying to control your nerves because you can't be too nervous. So you're trying to like, deal with all that. And then the after party was fun. It was good. I actually, stupidly, I lost like all my money and my purse and my ID.
Do you want to tell people why?
Well, I have this weird thing where I hide things from myself when I'm drunk because I know I lose everything all the time. I lose my phone, it just goes missing, or I just drop it somewhere. So I was like, okay, I know how to avoid this. Let me hide my purse from myself. And I also was hiding protein bars because I was giving them to someone because you can't get protein over there. And yeah, I couldn't find it, and no one can find it still.
Oh my
So
Lord.
my purse and my ID and these protein bars are somewhere at that dive shop. The cleaner, my coach, everyone has looked for it and no one can find it. So I've seen it
it's either well hidden or someone's found it and stolen it.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, maybe.
The cleaner's probably nicked
Why
it.
is my card blocked? And I haven't even cancelled it because I can't be bothered changing everything over again because I lost it last time I went out.
Went through all that
I know.
twice in like
Me
6
too.
months. It's
And I
just
can't do it.
my first one was expiration, so I was like, okay, that's understandable. Then I went to Thailand, left it in the machine.
Yeah.
Even though
that's not good.
am very
Yeah.
Well-
regimental with like,
Yeah.
remember the card comes out second
Yeah.
in Thailand,
countries.
not first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But people listening now know to hack you guys because you'll do nothing about it.
no,
I, on the other
Okay,
hand, will
true.
change it immediately.
Okay,
Mate,
I'm cancelling.
do you know how annoying it is? Like when
Exposure.
you get like, you go to book an Uber and then you're like, you can't book this
Yes.
Uber. You've got no
Uber
and you're like,
Eats.
fuck, and then you have to change it over
Yeah.
again, and then the next one, like, oh, your Google Suite has gone out because there's no
Yeah.
no
That's when
direct
you
debit.
need to, Alan Watts, live in the present.
Yeah,
You're not changing it all the time. You're just changing it once
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
and deal with it.
I
Still
did,
getting
but I did it
messages from
twice in
IC.
fucking like less than 6
Yeah.
months, and I was like, I just got through all
Yeah.
this shit.
Mine was 4 weeks, so that's why I refused.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so that was fun. And
Yeah.
then went to Coron with Jimmy.
What's a Coron?
Coron is like a different island.
Right.
Yeah, those dives looked awesome.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So we explored the World War II shipwrecks there, which was really nice. So we were free diving one day. Then we did scuba, so 3 scuba dives in one day. And then we did some more free diving.
Does that
and
not fuck with
snorkeling.
your insides for the
We have
dives
to
or
wait. It's
not?
kind of like flying. So you can free dive to dive. Like you don't have to wait in between. But then if you scuba dive, you need to wait whatever your dive computer says. So it was like 18 hours or something. So we had good fun there as well. Few nights, few wines too. So yeah, it was a good balance. So I'm glad I had that because last time I literally just trained, competed, came straight back. Yeah. So
No, de-stressor. Right. Well, thank you, Jade, for your time.
Do you have
pleasure.
anything you want to plug, Jade? Like
Her eye.
workshops,
yeah.
Pilates, anything?
I mean, I'm doing more workshops. So before it was all about the breath. So it was just sort of like a little glimpse of everything. I'll probably start doing some more, maybe like a series and focus on certain things like how to increase your breath hold or your CO2 tolerance. I'll start doing things like that. So I will watch this space. I will announce those soon. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Sick.
I've got to plug. There is quiz night at Froth on the 25th of June on a Tuesday night.
Is that me?
Nope, that'll still be me.
I'm July.
And then I got to get the next date.
Oh, yeah.
Then we've got on the 21st and 22nd, I'll be at the Comedy Lounge. So if you want to come and see me do 10, then I'm doing a quiz for the independent living residents. So I got to do like a 60s quiz for the oldies. I'm giving back. I did it for fuck all money because I just thought it would be good. And then my very, very last gig is the 28th of June. We're doing Sunday Singles on a Friday night. So if you're in Freo on a Friday, we're doing Sunday Singles on a Friday night. Otherwise, we got some comedy going on at Wanneroo at Live Lounge. So that'll be
I'm on at that, hey?
Squirrely
My
Marsh.
uncle told me I'm on at that. I forgot.
Yeah. Well, Squirrely Marsh, apparently you, Cam McLaren.
I'm on the
and
poster.
Lydia Evans.
And I was like, what the fuck? I completely forgot I'm doing that.
This is where you need to get an electronic diary, bro.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll bump you.
But what have I got? So I got the 28th. I'm at Live Lounge.
Yeah.
Wanneroo. So get down there. I'm at Comedy Lounge this Saturday doing a 5 o'clock show.
Sweet.
So that's kind of cool. Just doing 7, but and thank you to all the listeners and then the quizzes who came to watch the other day. That's my best gig I've ever done. I'm fucking stoked.
Yeah.
Like I felt really good. So I'm feeling good about it. And then I've probably got a few other quizzes or something
plug
like
it
that
next
too,
week.
but all good.
We're also doing comedy at Froth on the 24th of 24th of July, I think
I
it is.
should. Is that
24th.
what I'm doing at the 24th? Yeah, okay.
No.
Didn't you message me saying, can you do? I'm hosting a quiz or something.
You're doing my quiz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the 24th. It's just Mush and Wolfie and Tuffley for that first one.
Yeah. So
Less is more.
One thing I was going to say is my room with Wolfie.
Tonight.
Opening night tonight, but also weekly.
Yep. Next Thursday.
Every Thursday night, come down and have a watch. You're going to go up next Thursday, are you?
I should do.
Whatever Wolfie wants you to do. I'll leave that to Wolfie.
I knew I had something, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. But yeah, weekly Squealing Pig comedy.
Woo!
Get down there. It's going to be good fun. That's sick.
You sold it.
Fuck yeah.
Sold.
Thanks so much for coming on,
Thank you,
Jade.
Jade.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for
Your
having
time.
me.
Very good
And
episode.
when you get on back chat, just drop as many hard yarns references as you can.
Yes.
Yeah, like I was saying on the hard yarns podcast.
That's a fucking good thing, like multi-level marketing.
Just throw it in once or twice.
Yeah.
Just
Do you know the yarns, boys? You know the yarns?
Just go hard yarns podcast. And go, Scully, you were meant to.
No, you just say
You were
West
meaning to do
Perth is better than East Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because he's our East Perth captain.
yeah. Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
Scully?
No, fucking Brayshaw.
Hamish Brayshaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw a few little hard yarns. And any listeners, if they clip Jade up, look out of focus, man. If they clip Jade up, I'm not fucking crazy, am I? I'm out of focus, man.
Crazy.
If they clip up Jade, just tag at Hard Yarns Podcast
Oh my
on back
Do you want to
chat.
start a war?
yeah.
But on the back chat, when she's on, just tag at Hard Yarns.
Okay.
Isn't this your guest? Question mark.
Okay, classic.
Cancelled.
Thank you so much, Jade.
All right. Thanks, Jade.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.